Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Join me in Psalm 29, where we learn about peace through strength. So we're going to move from the shadow of his wings, this beautiful image from yesterday, that was in Psalm 63, to an image of power, of thunder, of majesty and glory. Now, one of my favorite things to do is to stand right over there and watch the thunderstorms roll in. And then when it gets really bad and the rain starts to pelt and you look in danger from the lightning, then I go inside to a nice strong building. Now, contrast that with one of my least favorite things to do, which is to sleep in a pup tent, which I've done a couple times in my life, and a huge thunderstorm rolls in, and you just think you're going to die at any second and get hit by lightning and washed away by the storm. So that's the image of today, and we learn at the end that my peace, the peace of me, is determined by the strength and the power of God. So my peace with God is based on this power of a thunderstorm, so to speak. So in the Psalm 29, 11 verses, we're going to first see enthusiastic worship in the first couple verses. I'll pause a couple times through the Psalm. It's only 11 verses long. Verse number 1, ascribe to the Lord, O heavenly beings, ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Worship the Lord in the splendor of holiness. So this is David, the psalmist, writing and saying, encouraging these heavenly beings to ascribe to the Lord. It means kind of two things. It means to give to the Lord glory and strength, but it also means it's also an invitation. It's like, hey, come and do this. Come and then give to the Lord. And then we move in this psalm into another little section, which is about the thunderstorm. This is from verses 3 through 9. And the voice of the Lord, and the Lord himself, is pictured as this thunderstorm traversing the Mediterranean Sea and then turning kind of south and going from the north of Israel to the south of Israel. We know that from the various locations that are particularly mentioned. So David here ascribes the raw and exposed power of the Lord and the majesty of this thunderstorm, first out over the waters. Verse 3, the voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord over many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. It made me think of Romans chapter 1, where Paul says, I'm not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes. We need a powerful God. So this is not that gentle image of in the shadow of your wings I sing for joy like we just did yesterday. We shelter under the wings of God. Why? Well, we didn't talk about it that much, but because of the power and the protection and the personal attention. So this is the same God who is also a protecting God. And where does that come from? From his strength. So then in the psalm here, the storm kind of turns over the land. Verse 5, the voice of the Lord breaks cedars. The Lord breaks the cedars of Lebanon. He makes Lebanon to skip like a calf, to Syrian, which is in the north, like a young wild ox. The voice of the Lord flashes forth flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shakes the wilderness. The Lord shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. That's in the south. So the voice of the Lord here is going to break the biggest trees, the cedars of Lebanon. The voice of the Lord shakes Lebanon and Israel, kind of from north to south. And it's like trembling, jumping calves and the shaking of the wilderness. That's how strong this thundering power of the Lord is. And then all is trembling before him, and possibly even deer are succumbing to this powerful aspect of the Lord and giving, like miscarrying, giving birth prematurely. Some controversy is what this passage means, but it's scary nonetheless. Verse 9, the voice of the Lord makes the deer give birth and strips the forest bare. And in his temple all cry glory. So we have the strongest God. And then the last two verses, the Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned as king forever. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. So it's interesting, the whole psalm, that's the end. The psalm ends with peace. So he's stronger than thunder. He's stronger than lightning. He is sovereign in power over the whole world. So what source is the power and gifts that he gives to mankind? He can give power only because he is first powerful. Psalm 68:35 says, "Awesome is God from his sanctuary, the God of Israel. He is the one who gives power and strength to his people." And then Philippians 4:7, "The peace of God, which passes all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." So how do we get the Lord's peace? Well, it's only ultimately through his power. So we have, like the saying goes, peace through strength. So the only reason we have peace with God is because of the power of God and his favor in affording us the benefits of it. So in conclusion, God is as powerful as a thunderstorm. And so I am humbled by his thundering majesty for sure. So how does this affect me? How does this thunderstorm psalm affect me? Well, this peace, the source of the peace is the thunderstorm. So my peace with God is based on the power of the thunderstorm. So may the Lord bless his people with peace. What Lord? The Thunder Lord. And it's only because the Lord is powerful that we can have peace with him and peace from him. Thanks for listening.